It is Wednesday, June 14th, 2023, and today is the 100th episode of Wizard Wednesday. Channeling in from the Quantum Downs, this is Elf.
And Dota, hello.
And Bear, let's go!
What up,
100!
Wizards?
We're Wizards! We have a cold! I drank the Kool-Aid.
And Jitsy's here too.
What up, fam? I've been celebrating all day with memes and celebration. Let's keep going.
Okay.
So many good Cobalt memes, my lord.
Yeah, the memes in the Secret Tower today have been fire.
Empty the tank. I think I have to get ready for the next, on the 200th one, I have to have an entire folder ready to go. So it starts today.
Yep. Awesome memes today, and we just did an airdrop. Did you all claim your free airdrop? And Dota, is it safe to claim?
It's safe to claim. So yeah, so holders of any of the character tokens, so wizards, warriors, souls, you can go hop over to Manifold, the Wizard Wednesday link, and we've got just a beautiful piece of art that we've been saving for a long time. You can claim that. And then we're going to do an airdrop later. Well, we might as well start now because people only have a certain amount of time. If you're in Discord, you can hop into the WizWed episode 100 form channel. And if you're a holder, then you can click on that form, fill it out, and then we will airdrop something to you by the end of this week. We'll talk more about that again. But yeah, there's also a piece on Manifold. Do you want to talk a little bit about that piece, Al?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, as Dota said, we've been sitting on this piece for a while. It was made months ago, and the original plan for it was we were going to put it in the comic book, which I think we still will. But we've just been sitting on it for too long, and I think it was Nalgene maybe who said, let's go ahead and mint it and give it away on Wizard Wednesday for the 100th episode.
And then, of course, Dota took what happened this morning, and Dota, you just whipped it up. It's so happy to have a Dota.
We've been really wanting to let this out. I mean, one of the things that's important is when you view it on Manifold, they have a button that says View Original Media, or on OpenSea as well. And so, yeah, it's so detailed that you really, really want to view the original size because, well, there's the more that you look, the more details that you see. I've looked at this image for probably an hour, and I keep finding new details. I love it so much.
Yeah, and I just want to say, so much work actually went into this illustration. We got this amazing artist. His name is Ulysses to draw it, and but it's not like we could just say, "Hey, Ulysses, draw a bunch of wizards." No, we gave him a detailed document of I'm going to say at least 100 wizards, if not more. We gave him the original pixel art. We gave him a description of the wizard. We gave a suggestion of what that wizard should be doing. And we tried so hard to include everybody in the cult, everybody that, we see regularly in the Discord, on Twitter. If we missed anyone, which I'm sure we did, it's nothing personal. It somehow just slipped through. It was, this list was just huge.
I also think this is something that we can keep doing every year, right? New things happen and new people join and new people start creating. So I think we do a repeat of this.
Agreed. Yep, totally agree.
And also, the most important thing for me is that it actually has me beating you in an arm wrestling match.
No, Bear. If you look closely, nobody is winning this match. And which is appropriate because next time we arm wrestle, I will win.
Elf's been training.
Yeah, Elf called me the other day. I was like, "You want to see a picture of my abs?" And I was like, "No, no, I don't want to." And I said, "You can have all the abs in the world. I will always beat you at arm wrestling."
Yeah, none of that actually happened.
Oh man,
says Elf.
And I think one of the things that really speaks to the character building and the world building is when you look at this image, you see people, right? You see like, oh, there's retired yield farmer. There's, Billy's gonna get ya. There, I see Grimplin, and I see just in the color master, and in every sort of frame, you can see, oh, there's Artist Rock, there's Wise Sam, all of these people people that you look at this and you see the individuals, and it really just speaks to kind of the writing, the art, but then also just the like how people have adopted these characters as their own identity.
Yep. Everybody has really just leveled up their characters. They've made their wizard come alive, and that's what this project is all about. So hold on, Bear.
Well, before we get started, I just wanted to say, like, I was thinking about it this morning. I was like rushing to the office and had a moment in the car, and I just wanted to say, I've done a lot of things in my life, a lot of really fun things, a lot of really stupid things. And the past, year and a half, 2 years has just been like the best. I think like the pinnacle of not only like everything that I've done and my skills, but just I've never been more proud of something. I just think there's something so special about what we're doing. And I couldn't it wouldn't be possible, first of all, without you, Elf and Dota, because you guys started this thing. And Elf, I just want to say thank you for calling me, an hour after you mentioned the Wizards, saying you wanted to make a TV show. I'm so thankful, and I'm very happy. I love you guys, and I love the team.
Yeah, I love you too. I think it wouldn't have been what it is without you. So, you've just been an incredible source of friendship and just like energy and power, and I can't even say enough. So
we would have crashed long ago, and burned long ago if it wasn't for you, Bear.
We would have just killed each other and then launched the project that way.
Oh, shucks. Well, anyway, love you guys. Not to be sappy, but I'm just so thankful. So, and thankful for the cold. And this is just, this is really just the beginning. I know we always say that, but there's just so much in front of us for the team and for the community. And, we're going to look back and really sort of, we're going to have fond memories of this time.
Yep. Well, this is a good segue. Actually, we have two cult questions today. And the first question is actually, maybe you already answered it, Bear. Maybe you didn't. The first question is, what is your favorite Forgotten Runes memory?
My favorite Forgotten Runes memory. It's probably, there's a lot of them, but the one that comes to mind is when we opened the burn. And I forget who it was, I should remember, but the first burn turned into a pile of dirt or ash.
I
and
think that was TV.
Was that TV? Hi, Locke. What's up, Locke?
Hey.
So that was like, we had set this whole thing up, and I was like, listen, like, it's really scary to burn. Like, there's a chance you're going to get like a undesirable. And the first person up just gets fucking smacked in the face with the pile of ash. I was like, oh God, what do we do? Anyway, that's my memory.
Dota, you got one?
Is that really true? Because that sounds so funny to me, which sounds exactly like something I would do.
Well, maybe it wasn't the first burn, but there was a big stream of like, and there was like 100 people in there, and it was the first like public burn.
Yeah. Wow. Oh man, it's just like there's just an unlimited number. I think that like it's like these moments of kind of like recognizing people that like get on board and then like get what we're doing, right? So like one that really stands out to me is like when Lorepunk sang for the first time on Wizard Wednesday, and how just like incredible that was that someone would come up and sing an original piece. Or I think that it's like just sitting at my computer, cracking up at like The One Who Rings, publishing, posting Forgotten Runes memes even before he like worked with us, So I think those would be some of the things that come to my mind immediately. But there's 1,000 more.
Yep. I've got a few. Obviously, one of them is just straight up mint day. Just the day of the mint, not knowing how it would go, not knowing what to expect. Never experienced anything like that in my life. And it literally changed my life. I think another highlight for me was the party at NYC, the NFC NYC. That was just amazing. I think something I'll never forget about that was, like, I remember Bear, you and I, well, we all three got there a few days before, and I remember Bear saying, like, man, I don't even know if anyone's gonna come. Like, if I put, I probably did all this effort, and there's gonna be like 5 people at this party.
I was freaking out. I was like, this is gonna be so embarrassing. It's gonna be like the 5 of us in this massive space, and
oh my god, I will never forget, Bear, when you came up to me like, I don't know, it was like the afternoon or morning of the party. You're like, Locke, is anyone gonna come to our party? And then we like pull up maybe like 30 minutes before, and the line is like wild down the block. And I'm like, well, guess you got your answer.
It was like such a relief. I was like, oh my god, there's like 500 people in line.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, we didn't think anyone was gonna come, and then I remember walking to the party, turning around, and just seeing a line of like 200 people, and I remember thinking, like, who are all these people, and how did Bear Snake invite them all? How did you do that?
It was like that party took me and Locke out for like 3 or 4 months. My gosh.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the beginning, speaking of the beginning, I think that one of the things that when we think about our favorite memory, I see that Deez is in the audience. Deez, I don't know if you want to come up, but like I've said this before, and I'll say it on the 100th episode as we're reflecting a little bit, which is just that, like, to me, I think everyone played their part in kind of like getting Forgotten Runes on the map, but Deez actually has a special place in so far as like he was the one person that believed in us early on, that like that had a following and had a voice, and he like noticed us and promoted us to other people, and like that was, if there was really like one person that kind of put us on the map and like gave us a shot, it was totally Deez. And so yeah, hearts to you, Deez. I don't know if you saw the 100th episode image that we just dropped on Manifold, but the 3D glasses Deez wizard has a prominent placement in there, and you have a prominent placement in our hearts. So
we love you, Deez.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna play a sound clip from a Deez space here in a little bit, but let me just finish with favorite memories.
One more thing on Deez. I was in the grocery store with my wife. This was like literally last week, and she just out of the blue, she said, Deez nuts. She was like, wait, is that why his name is Deez? And I was like, yeah, babe, that's what it's from. And she's like, I just got that just now.
Amazing anecdote.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, besides Mint Day, besides the party, my other just best memories, honestly, are just seeing all the amazing things that the cult members make. Just, throughout the last 2 years, I've had my mind blown at least once every week or two. Just some of the things that rise to the top of my head. I remember, like, Bread was one of the first people to make a derivative illustration of a wizard, and I remember when I first saw it, I was like, this is exactly what I want our holders to be doing.
Yeah.
I remember Magus Wazir, the One Who Rings, just went on like a streak of just like blowing our minds for like months. Just like we didn't know who he was, and he just came out of nowhere and was just making these amazing videos and memes, and like he made a 3D wizard before we even thought about making 3D wizards. I remember having my mind just blown by Merlin when he started building the NFT worlds in Minecraft. Literally did every single wizard in Minecraft style. I still remember the goosebumps that I got when Lorepunk Margaret and SPZ did that Chimera song. Cabinet of Curiosities, Black Sands, the derivative meant nouns and punks, the Baron Court, TV's Forgotten Marketplace, everything by Tanya, what Moron Global has done with Little Nas, just so many amazing things by the cult, and I think that, those are just some of my favorite memories.
Yeah, totally agree. We'll touch on some of these other some of these things as we kind of move forward, through the show today.
For sure. And then just the only other question we have is from Wild Mage. He's asking, will all or the current or future Athenaeum treats be available to be earned or used in the Runiverse game? I think some of them will be.
I can speak. I can
Yeah,
speak
go
to that
for
a
it.
bit.
Yeah,
So yes, they will appear. Which ones and how many, I think, is to be decided. Something that we really like people to be able to do is use them to help decorate and customize, their home or what have you. There's also some potential like syncs to use them to get resources. So yes, there will be probably more than one way to sort of utilize them in the game. Of course, they're amazing storytelling items, but we definitely are focused on getting, plugging them in.
Yeah, so the Athenium items will probably have some degree of integration with the Runiverse game. How exactly is to be determined. But I think that like we want to use them more in our own, in like not our own, but like in other games and like mechanics as well. So we'll have to kind of like leave that open ended. But like for sure, the Athenium items are not just like cosmetic. We'll be using them mechanically as we move forward for sure.
Yep. There's many other uses for the Athenium items. And speaking of, that is actually our airdrop today. We are dropping 5 new Athenium items. And I want to briefly go over what they are and just what meaning they have. But Dota, just for anyone new who came in, do you want to repeat like how to claim one of these Athenium items?
Yeah, if you want to claim one of the new airdrops, you have to be a holder. Hop into Discord, and there is a channel right above the secret tower called WizWed EP100 form. There's a form there which you can click on and put in your address there. So yeah, thank you to Matazuki. Magus Devon for setting that up. I mean, yeah, shout out to Magus Devon, to Matazuki, just for always being kind of this, just a pillar of our community since the very beginning, right? His contributions with like Magus Devon are, Magus Devon might be like the single most sort of like visually developed character in the Runiverse. I mean, maybe that's debatable. There's others that are competitive, but really, Magus Devon is so special and so unique, and so yeah, I'm very thankful to know Matazuki and for his friendship over these past couple of years. And he set up the channel. So hop into Wizard Wednesday app 100 if you want to get the airdrop.
Locke, did you have something?
Yeah, I believe Magus Devon may have been the first lore story reader.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is a piece of history. What episode was that in?
I want to say 3.
Oh, I'm looking at.
Yeah,
I think it's 5.
Since we're on Matazuki, I mean he is so generous with his time. Everyone here has, I'm sure, benefited from sort of his guidance from either how to like secure your NFTs. He's so generous about like telling people about how to manage Discord security, managing Wallet security. He's been generous with his time for me at every step along the way for, community feedback, for training stable diffusion models. I'm just so thankful to have gotten to know you, Matto.
Agree. Legendary wizard. Okay, so this Athenaeum airdrop, there's 5 items in it, and they range from silly to sacred. And they touch on some of the most popular categories that I've noticed in the Athenaeum. There is a card, a book, an egg, a doll, and I'm going to just say a miscellaneous item. And so I briefly want to just go over what these each are. The card it's called the Ouroboros card. And so, cards have really just sort of a long magical history, from like fortune telling to tarot cards to even just like magic tricks by stage magicians. So, I love all the cards that we have in our NFT ecosystem. And so I added a really powerful one, the Ouroboros card, who is, obviously the Ouroboros is just a very divine figure in our universe. So that's the Ouroboros card. The egg is it's called the Thunderbird egg. I don't have much to say about it except that someday I want to do something with the eggs. I think it's pretty obvious what an egg would do. But it's just been, ever since, there's a lot of eggs in our ecosystem. The cockatrice had some eggs spawn. Some of the wizards are holding eggs, which hatched in the Great Burning. And then the Athenaeum has a bunch of eggs, including this new one today. There is the miscellaneous item is a bear paw. And so,
Oh, really?
yeah. So bear, if a rabbit's paw gives you good luck, what does a bear paw give you?
It picks any lock to any door in any universe.
Really? That
Yeah,
makes
because
sense.
it's got, they have the little fingernail at the end. This is not like a soft, cutty little like rabbit's foot. This is like a tool. This is like this is like the multi-tool of the Runiverse is the bear claw.
That makes a ton of sense. Now Bear, what if the claw just can't pick the lock? Is there another method to opening the door?
Yeah, your foot.
Okay.
But let me just state right now, there is no lock that cannot be picked with the bear claw.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, the bear paw opens doors. Very appropriate. The doll in this collection, I mean, it's pretty obvious what it has to be. It's the kobold doll. It's amazing. The Athenaeum didn't already have a kobold doll. We've seen versions of this doll in many other places, and so I had to put an official one in the Athenaeum. And then finally, the new book is the Voynich manuscript. This is one of my personal favorites, actually, and so I want to talk a little bit about this because I see a lot of corollaries between this book and what Forgotten Runes is doing. And so, if you don't know what the Voynich manuscript is, it's actually a real book. It's actually sitting in Yale's a library at Yale to this day, but it's extremely old. It's from the 15th century. And the author of this book is unknown. What's more is this book is it's written on vellum, and it's full of these really, really strange hand-drawn illustrations of weird plants and astronomical diagrams and honestly weird humans doing weird shit with all these strange esoteric symbols. And it's written in a language that to this day has not been deciphered.
What?
Yeah.
Is there any kind of origin, like potential origin?
All we know is it came from the 15th century, and the reason it's called the Voynich manuscript is because like the first person to like expose it to the world was some merchant named Voynich. But that Voynich is not the author. Nobody knows who the author is. And so, yeah, we don't know what language this is. We've had cryptologists, we've had language experts, and we've even had AI try to decipher this book. Nobody has succeeded. Nobody knows what this book is saying or what it means.
Well, they clearly haven't used ChatGPT 4 yet.
What's that?
They haven't used ChatGPT 4 yet.
Yeah, okay, or 5. And so, yeah, when you look at this thing, it gives you the impression that an alien wrote it, honestly. But it wasn't an alien. It was a human being. It was a human being with an incredibly unique voice. A genius that developed something that is so unique to them, a truth that is so uniquely their own that nobody else on the planet can understand it. It is so uniquely human that not even a machine can understand it. And yet, ironically, this wall of obscurity does not prevent us from connecting to it. It actually makes us more interested. And so we always say in Forgotten Runes that everyone has the ability to create. Skill or talent is not a prerequisite. So, when we say everybody, we mean everybody has the ability to put their mark on the world. And you can make that mark so unique and so interesting because every human being is unique and interesting and has something to say. This is the triumph of the human voice, a thing we all have and we can all dazzle the world for 1,000 years with it. So the Voynich manuscript is one of the 5 items. Dodo, they'll be just randomly dropped, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yep, we'll airdrop them randomly. Sometime on Thursday or Friday. We'll let you know.
Cool. Okay, speaking of putting your mark on the world, and speaking of D's, I've got a fun clip that I want to play that was on Adiz's space years. It was 1 year ago, actually. I'm gonna try to play this through my phone. I hope you can hear it. So let me just try this.
1 year ago.
And that's what these wizards are. They're conduits to the wizards inside you. You summoned wizards, and now these wizards are going to summon you. Because this is what a wizard does. He puts his mark on the world. He puts his rune on the door. Okay, the reason I wanted to play that is that was the first time the phrase "put your rune on the door" was ever mentioned. And I just want to say, like that phrase came to me minutes before I even went on that D Spaces. It wasn't really planned. But it's just, again, the idea of putting your mark on the world is incredibly important. It's a fundamental part of what it means to be human. And anyone can do it in a variety of ways. When you make art, music, literature, when you code, when you make a game, when you make an application, or when you make a meme, or when you make someone happy, or you give someone a gift, when you make a good dinner for your family, you're putting your mark on the world. And even being a good parent is doing this, because you're literally leaving your genetic mark in a new person. Not to mention all the ways that you help that person grow and develop and encourage them to make their own marks. When we leave our marks on the world, we are building a world. And when you put your rune on the door, you're sort of creating a portal from the world in your head to the world in someone else's head. And then when these worlds connect, we've now made a new world. And then when that new world opens to new doors, growth becomes exponential. And so, it's I've got a bunch of other fun clips, but that one is just like one of the very first videos we uploaded to the YouTube channel.
You said that was a year ago, but it was actually two years ago.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Good to know.
Yep.
Okay, here's another fun thing. So amazingly, I think we lost the Wizard Wednesday episode where Bear first joined us. I wasn't able to find it, but what I did find is the episode where we secured the Bear Cave.
Oh God, that must have been. That was like January or February of last year, maybe.
I don't know, but let's play this clip and see what kind of fun we can have with it. Mr. Tom Nosferatu up himself. Tom, we watched your. Okay, I'm playing the wrong clip. Oh my God.
I was like, okay, where is this going? This is
Yeah, Tom
Put
Nosferatu
that
is a
clip
big
in there.
moment.
Damn it. Okay, let me find the bear clip, but let's hone in on this. Because this is another fun one. This was part of the Great Burning, and one of the most famous burns in that burn was when Tom got the Nosferatu. So let me just finish that clip.
Yeah.
Burn stream, and how crazy was it that you pulled Nosferatu?
Oh, man. It's indescribable. I mean, like, you can go watch the stream. We're trying to like clip it up into a more digestible highlight reel, but I mean, either way, you can see it on the stream. Like, I lost for words, out of body experience. It's just so cool because we spent like literally 2 nights with just trying to hang out with people in the Discord, make the craziest meme of memes that we could, and then we put that in the lore, and we literally burned a witch at the stake, and then we got an immortal result. Like, it was too rad.
It was crazy.
Perfect.
Like, what's crazy is that, like, I think we've talked about.
Okay, that's actually where the clip ends.
So one of the things that I think was wild about that burn was really like the conviction that Tom had as a result about what he wanted to do with that. So, if you recall at that time, so this was October of 2021. I don't know the exact price of beef. Let's say it was pretty high. It was like 3 or 4 grand. And then I believe that we were still in quite a bull market. And he could have sold that Nosferatu at the time for, I remember thinking he could have sold it for $50,000 with no problem, and maybe even a little bit more. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sell it. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to leverage this into, this what he called Moron Global, right? And what's happened is that his thesis has been right. They've basically turned the sort of Forgotten Runes Nosferatu into its own legendary character.
Nosferatu could not have gone to a better person, I think. Moron Global is a meme cult, and Nosferatu is like the epitome meme of the vampire archetype. We've talked about this before, but the filmmaker who made the Nosferatu film wanted the rights to Bram Stoker's Dracula, but he couldn't get it, so he just created Nosferatu as like a derivative of Dracula, which is a meme. And now Nosferatu, in many ways, has become more relevant than Dracula himself. And it's just, you can't really kill a meme. You can't kill a vampire. The more it spreads, the more people it bites, the stronger it becomes. And so, yeah, I just love what Moron Global and Tom have done with Nosferatu. And
I also want to lean into that. So we'll talk more about this. We'll have more to share about this in particulars. But one of the things that I think that's important, we'll talk about this when we talk about the future, is this idea around people who participate in Forgotten Runes being able to monetize the IP that they create. And so I think leaning into Moron Global and a lot of the other artists in our cult in a way that might make it more directly monetizable is something that we totally want to do. And so, yeah, that burn was absolutely epic. I haven't seen Tom around so much, but if anybody, if he's around, I want to say, hey.
He's around. He's lurking.
Good.
And I would definitely, just underline what you just touched on, Doda, and that is, this whole project is about, like you said, Alf, putting your mark on the world. And I think this idea of contributions is at the core, and it allows us to do things that I think other communities, whether it's Web3 or otherwise, can do, right? And so contributions are key.
Tom! Hello!
Oh, Tom!
What's up, guys? I'm on.
What up, buddy?
Tommy!
I'm on vacation with the kids, but just want to say hi, love you all, and I'll talk to you soon.
We love you, Tom.
We love you, Tom. We love you. Hi, kids. Your dad's in a wizard cult.
Can you say hi, Lacey?
Hey.
Hi. What's your wizard number?
What's your secret passphrase? All right, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Later,
Bye,
Tom.
Tom.
Okay, bye.
Oh, and thanks for the shout out. Love you. Bye.
Of course.
Okay, speaking of amazing epic burns, another fun burn that day was, okay, let me back up. There is a very peculiar thing about our NFT project, and it's that one of our founders doesn't even own the PFP that he uses. Dodo, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And, I'm going to get to where your wizard was burned by the people who actually did own it. But first, can you address just the weird peculiarity of you not even owning your PFP?
Yeah. So when you and I started this project, to be frank, we had no idea what we were doing in terms of some of the deeper tokenomics. And one of the things that I learned after the drop was just something around the degree to which let's say crypto degens in general kind of psyop the founders in these very weird ways, right? And so you and I were trying to do everything above the board. We weren't going to withhold all the rares. We were going to make sure it was a really fair process. And as a result, I think that you and I didn't keep more than a dozen wizards. I don't even know if that. And part of the process was, I'd adopted this Dota persona, but I kind of had this idea. I didn't really recognize the degree to which, like, how personal these tokens became, and I wanted to make the Dota like NFT go to someone in the collection, right? It was like, I'm not going to save this ultra rare for myself. I'm going to actually like include it in this like sort of egalitarian. Anyone can has a chance to get this token, and so it went out. And it was minted by Red, and he had it, and then he ended up selling it. Right, he ended up selling it for, I don't remember exactly, 12 ETH. And what was funny is that like everyone thought that I had sold my my own wizard. That like I was getting a lot of DMs, people saying like, oh, like that's a bad sign for the project when the founder sells his namesake. And I was like, no, I never ever owned it. So yeah, Red sold it to Dialectic, who we love, and well, then that leads us to the Great Burning.
Yep. So Dialectic, who came into possession of Dota's wizard, they burned it, and
Yeah.
so the following Wizard Wednesday, this is what happened after Dota got burned. Team at Dialectic did us dirty. Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh.
It's not funny.
It's not funny.
Stop laughing.
It's a very serious day. Just a few more moments. Okay. Okay. Witches and Wizards, you know what day it is. It's Wizard Wednesday, November 3rd, 2021, and it's time for our cult meeting. This is Elf, and only Elf, channeling in from the Quantum Shadow. Yes, the Quantum Shadow, my friends. And it is through this darkness that I seek my beloved comrade, the Orange Fuzzy, who just this morning stepped to the flame. Hashtag pray for Dota, my fellow witches and wizards. May his soul be lost. Wait a second. What is that?
I think
What's
I
that
hear
noise?
something. Do you hear that?
Is that the sound of a heart? Dota! Is that you?
I'm back, everybody.
It's Dota!
Oh my God!
I made it through.
Are you okay?
He has wings! He has a halo! Dota, you majestic fuzzy wizard, you! Look at you!
I lost my egg. I lost my familiar. But I came back with this sick harp.
Okay, so Dota, you came back to us in angelic form.
Yep.
That's all you have to say?
Yeah. So Dota is now an angel, but I feel that sporting the Angel PFP is a better fit for Halloween and spooky season. The summer vibe is the headband.
Yeah, and so let's like bring this full circle. The PFP that you actually have right at this moment, is it's actually an ordinal, right?
Oh, I suppose that's true. Though I was sporting it long before it was an ordinal, but that is true. I did inscribe that as a very early ordinal. That's true.
Of course you did.
Yeah. So you kind of do own your NFT PFP in a roundabout.
That's a sticky situation. I'm not sure, but I suppose I did give it the provenance.
Okay, so yeah, the Great Burning was awesome. I think another fun. Oh man, I hope I pulled up the right clip.
Where's the bear clip? I'm interested in the bear cave clip.
Oh yeah, perfect. Yes, I think I have it right here. Let's do that. Okay, so this episode, it's episode 26. It's when we first got the bear cave. So let me just play this. That, once Bear gets it all set up, if you're in LA, I'm sure Bear would welcome. Wait, hold things that I know that neither Dota nor I could have made happen. So what do you think, Dota?
It's so true. Yeah, Bear Snake has been incredibly productive, closing deals, following up. This is not a joke, but I'll actually at night I'll go to Miss Dota and I'll be like, "Oh, Bear Snake is the best. Like, listen to all these things that he did today. There was all this, like, listen to this deal that he closed. I would never have been able to close.
I didn't know a bear could.
It's incredible.
I didn't know a bear could blush, but a bear's blushing right now. Guys, that's very sweet of you. Thank you.
No, but seriously, Bear Snake, the cave has just transformed everything. It's I don't know what you're doing in there, but it's been great.
Well, I'll tell you, bears usually hibernate during summer, but this bear lives in Southern California, so there is no hibernation. And
wait, I thought bears hibernated in the winter.
Oh, wait, that's what I meant to say. I mixed it up. See, this bear's all fucked up. I'm telling you.
Okay, Bear, how did you not know that bears hibernate in the winter and not the summer?
I'm not a good public speaker, and let me just say, I'm very good about animal facts, and it's quite embarrassing that I even said that publicly. And now it's recorded and played back.
Yeah. But no, getting the bear cave has really been sort of just a transformative event for Forgotten Runes.
It's been great. I see Ed Balloon in the audience. He stopped by this morning. I got one of his really great hoodies. I gave him some merch. It's nice to have a place that you walk in and it's all wizards. And I actually been thinking about, I want to kind of start doing dinners in the bear cave and start inviting people. I think that would be really fun. Maybe do that once a month or something like that. But anyone who is in the LA greater area, you're welcome to DM me and stop by.
I love it. You know what? Now that you mention it, I have this image saved on my desktop. I'm gonna put it in the secret tower. And I'm guessing Tad or Wise Sam made this. The bear cave on the beach image. Do you know who made this?
I'm almost positive it's Oz. I remember it's like the sunset.
Oh, Oz. Okay.
I think it's Oz.
Okay, yeah, I love it. The bear cave on the beach is a legendary place. Okay, another clip that I wanted to share was I'm calling this clip "The Dream of the Book of Lore," and it's one of the first times I found that Dota, you and I were just talking about the Book of Lore. And it's funny to hear this and then think about where the Book of Lore is now. So let me play this.
Bro, you just blew my fucking mind.
Oh wait, that's not it. It's so hard to keep all these clips straight. I think this is it.
And we hope to show this in a lot of different ways as we grow. I mean, it'd be fun to do volumes that are physical, that you could actually have in your house. But then, of course, they'll exist not only on our website, but within metaverses, I'm sure. But we're trying to get that organized right away. I'm happy to talk more about the details, and that's the overview.
Yeah, my dream is that in a few years, we will have this gigantic digital tome that is just a recorded history of all these wizards, all of their deeds, all of their poems, all of the derivative artwork that's been made about them. And every wizard owner will be a chance to fill out the lore of their wizard, whether it's through writing or drawing or poetry or whatever. And a lot of you may not consider yourself to be a writer or a poet, but I think you might surprise yourself about what you could do. I mean, even if you do a really amateur child's drawing, or you write a really just banal story about how your wizard went to the grocery store and bought a carrot, that's your wizard. That's really charming. That's really funny. It doesn't always have to have a professional, slick quality to it. These wizards are varied. And so I hope the Book of Lore reflects that. Yeah, so that's what we were talking about almost 2 years ago with the Book of Lore, before it was even created. And it's still at the center of everything we do. at the time, I think what we loved about the idea of the Book of Lore was just it was a primary way to attach value to your token, to level up your character and to make them more than what they were when you first received them. It was a way to give them history and to make them come alive, and to do it in a way that is preserved forever. You think about these other media franchises like Star Wars and Marvel and Disney, and all these empires would be nothing without the stories and the characters at their foundation, and that's what the Book of Lore is for us. But yeah, I mean, did you want to say something about that, Dota?
Well, I think that it's like fun to see that our vision happened. That is what's happened, right? We have, let's say, 4,000 stories in the Book of Lore, which is everything from like the sublime to the banal, right? There are things in there that are just these like beautiful works of art, and there are things that are just very straightforward, and like all of it kind of contributes to the collaborative legendarium. And I think that that's something that we want to dig in on is having a place where you can create and then, really have some true ownership in the things that you create. And so, it's great to see that some things that we plan that take a long time actually get done, because there are things that we are still working on that we have planned. And I'm like very looking forward to in 2 years to be like, oh, look, like we didn't actually know that we would for sure sell the show, and look, now we did. There's all this set of things that we're working on now that like we're not sure how they'll do, and so it's good to have that history and to be like, no, look, you can have a vision, you can have a plan, and then you put in the work, and then it works.
I think the other thing to just, to touch on here is, we planted that seed, it grew, I think beyond even our expectations. And then all of a sudden, large language models came out, and you were at the forefront of that, Dota. And to be able to, I was talking about it with someone this morning on a call. The Book of Lore is amazing as it stands, right? And we'll improve it and expand upon it. But like to look through it, like when we like talk with Derek, who's writing the television show, or Elf is walking Joe, who's writing the comic. They have to go in. They had to go in and like read all these stories. Now with the LLM, it's like the perfect tool to synthesize all of that information in a way where you can poke it and something comes out. I just thought the timing was quite elegant.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I love about the Book of Lore is like we had an idea of what it could be, and then we found this whole new use for it, like years down the road. The AI is just such a powerful, profound technology that is going to change the world in ways that we can't even imagine. And when you combine that with blockchain, it's just this profound alchemy that will open doors to horizons unknown. This is to me is what sets our project apart from every other NFT project out there. Is we not only are making these AI applications, but we have very unique data to train these AI applications. And the Book of Lore is just an amazing seed hotbed of all this creative energy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dota.
Well, it's just repeating what you said, which is like we're on the cusp of the age where like the word becomes material, and so like you'll be able to just speak things into existence in terms of like artwork and like films, and will it be good, will it be not, right? You'll still need that human touch, but the leverage now is actually the word, and so we've kind of built that in from the beginning, both from like the Book of Lore, the descriptions of the wizards, like all the LLM. All of these things are perfectly positioned towards like building this world moving forward.
Speaking of world building, there's one other clip that I want to share. There was a time, it was not quite a year ago. I think it was like 10 months ago. That's what YouTube is telling me. 10 months ago, we were no longer, for a brief moment, we were not a cult of wizards. We had changed into something entirely new. Something profane, something blasphemous, something horrifying and monstrous. Something infected our cult for a very intense moment, and there were a lot of people to blame for this. And I'm gonna play a clip that calls out the offenders here. There was a Wizard Wednesday where we ended about 30 minutes early because we had to pay homage to this profane, vile sort of meme that had poisoned our cult. Okay, here it is. Channeling in from the Q-Come Downs. It is the Nightmare Extravaganza Q-Come Dog Wednesday. This is Elf Cumber, Dogta, and Hot Bear Snake. Okay, give it a minute. Welcome to the Q-Come Dog Wednesday, everybody. My first question is, who do we blame for this monstrosity? I'm pointing my finger at you, Cheddar Bob. I'm pointing my finger at you, Wise Sam. Tanya, you're not getting away from this. I saw that Easter egg. Emma, damn you for playing into this whole nightmare. Games Guild, Pleasures, you're the one who gave me that damn PFP. The one who rings, I saw that awful game you made. Tabitha of the Marsh, I saw that stop motion. Slim, I see your hijinks. Maxwell Tez, I see that PFP right now. Everybody who has a PFP cucumber is going to be excommunicated.
Ex-cucumber.
Wow, you were possessed, dude.
That was
Jeez.
harsh. That's kind of harsh.
I was infected by the Cucumpocalypse.
I guess so.
I said excommunicated, but Dota, you followed up with a fun little pun. Do you remember what you said?
I don't know. Ex-cucumberated? I'm not
Exactly.
sure.
Yeah, no, but it was great. As much as I pretended to hate the Cucumpocalypse, it was a very special moment in the cult. You know, it's just, you know, it speaks to the power of memes and how memes can just radically transform just not a community but a whole world. It gave rise to like an entirely new character collection that I think Maxwell made, and a new like sort of I guess species like the Heroes of Cumberland, right?
Yep.
It turned out to be a really beautiful collection, actually.
Didn't Woz make a Cucum Dog game?
I think that was Feckless.
Oh, Feckless made it. Yeah, the flying Cucum.
Yeah, but that was good, and that was the brainchild of Cheddar Bob, I believe, that started the whole thing.
Thanks, Cheddar.
yeah. Thanks, Cheddar. I think that's all the YouTube clips I have. I mean, there were so many more amazing moments over the past 2 years. You know, there's. I won't play the clips, but I'll just call them out. Episode 33, we had Christian Nairn, aka Hodor, actually come in. Hodor, yes, the Hodor from Game of Thrones, for God's sakes. Hodor opened the door, came to the cult, and actually wrote some lore for his wizard, and read it on Wizard Wednesday. That was episode 33. We followed that up with episode 34 with Alexis Ohanian coming on. I think one of my favorite moments of that was Alexis Ohanian talked about how much he loves the Chimera, and he mentioned the monster in my pocket Chimera toy. Bear, let me hone in on an anecdote from that era. Do you remember what you were doing behind the scenes with Monster in My Pocket at that time?
Yeah, as soon as I'm not sure. I feel like we were talking about Monster in My Pocket before him, right? Or no?
Yeah, maybe
set
so.
It off? We were in the process of trying to buy the intellectual property Monster in My Pocket. And then we actually got like relatively close. I had a couple of calls with the owners. It's his husband and wife. And I think unfortunately he ended up getting sick, and it just didn't pan out. But yeah, we were close to buying that IP.
A crazy moment, because that was like one of my favorite toys when I was a kid, and just the idea that we almost bought Monster in My Pocket. That it's just the possibility is mind blowing.
Bull market things.
Totally. You know what? It's not off the table. Next bull market, let's see what happens. And then after Alexis Ohanian, a few episodes later, in episode 38, the beloved Derek Kolstad came on. I listened to a few clips of that. Man, what a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's such a class act. And maybe one of 15, 20 people that can walk into any streamer or television network and like sell anything he says. He's so amazing. We're so lucky to have him. I still remember that that lunch. I had developed like a VR film with him, and he'd written a script. It's almost like an ET style, like Amblin old school idea that he wrote, and it'd been like, I don't know, a couple years since I talked to him, and I remember I was listening to a podcast on one of my late night walks. I don't know if anyone listens to Smart List, but I'll plug it. It's super funny. They have great guests, and they had Bob Odenkirk on, and Odenkirk was promoting. What's the amazing movie that Odenkirk starred in? Nobody. Yeah, he was promoting Nobody, and he talked about calling Derek because Derek had obviously created and wrote all the John Wick movies, and Bob was like, I want to be John Wick. Can I be John Wick? Derek laughed. And it was like, yeah, sure, we can make that happen. And then they wrote the movie, and they got this really great Russian director. Who actually, Isla, he's amazing. He directed it. Anyway, point is I emailed him. It had been years, and I'm like, hey man, I'm working on this thing. It's super weird, but I think you should hear it. And so we go out to lunch. I drive out to him and see him. And by the end of the lunch, he was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I'm in. Like, I'm sold. I was like, all right, let's go.
Love it. Yeah, one fun anecdote from that episode was Locke. As soon as he came on, you called him out for not even having a proper PFP. He was just like using the default like gray silhouette image as his PFP. And then Derek was like, yeah, I just created this account this afternoon just for this show.
Yeah, he's great. He's like, listening to him tell stories is like watching a musician play jazz, where he's just like drawing from this like deep well of like archetypes, and so he's such a perfect fit for our cult.
Indeed. Okay, let's see. I want to go over some cult content by the amazing Cult Chronicle, but before I do, D'Lo, we had you came up at the very beginning. We haven't even like let you speak. Did you have something you wanted to add? D'Lo might be offline. Locke and Jitsi, you guys are up here, and I want to go back to the beginning of this. There was a question that was asked, what was your favorite Forgotten Runes moment? Do you guys have something you'd like to mention?
It's hard to point to any one moment. I think overall, I said this yesterday to the team, I'll say it here now, it's not a moment, right? It's just like, it's the community that was created here, and like having people show up every single day just to hang out. I've said multiple times, I'm like a Steam kid. I'm someone who's always online, it seems. And I like environments where I feel like I can talk to people and have a good time. And that's what this community and this project has done. So it's like really hard to point to one thing, right? There's so many elements. There's so many dynamics happening. There's so many fun things that happen within our Discord and people here that I just like, it's everything, man. Like, I don't know what I was doing before this, but this is it, right? Like, this is it. So, just hats off to everybody making what this is for me personally, like one of the best experiences of my life. That's it.
We love you, Jits.
Yeah.
We love you all tremendously.
Locke, what do you got?
Yeah, go for it, Locke.
I got something that I want to play because this was hands down like when it got like really real for me to connect with folks of the cult. I just started to like adore us in a different way.
Lizzo kept hopping forward until he disappeared into some tall weeds. Galatea went over to a grassless area and began to move rocks into a circle. A half hour later, she headed to the fire pit with her arms full of wood when she heard,
Was
Commitment
that
to the storytelling. Was
Litho.
great.
Yeah.
that was Sharon's very first lore read?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so
really
good.
special. Really special.
And I have a keen memory of actually Locke. Locke was, besides me coming into the trifecta or creating the trifecta with you guys, Locke was the first person. And I think we got to this point where I think we were leading into the burn, I believe. And Elf, you were just heads down grinding every day to get the art done. Dodie, you were grinding to get the tokenomics done and the burn. It was so complicated. And at that point, you had read every line, every comment in the Secret Tower, and you were like you were just breaking mentally. And we were like, we gotta find someone who can help sort of alleviate this a bit. And I was like, I worked with this woman before. She's pretty cool. I don't know if she's gonna like vibe with wizards. And me and Elf get on the phone with you, Locke, and we're like what's basically an interview. And I remember I was parked on Abbot Kinney in my car. We were on the phone, and you start like referencing all these like deep cut like Lord of the Rings references. And I was like, oh my God, like how lucky did we just get like someone that can actually come in and like take the voice and like help run the Twitter. And we got off and I called Elf and I'm like, she's it. And you were like, yup. So happy to have you, Locke.
Yeah, happy to be here. I can't express how much being here has changed my life without getting emotional. So I'll stop there.
Yeah, and it's been such a delight when we're able to like bring people in from the cult, So Niski too, we talked about the Book of Lore earlier. I had this in my notes and forgot to mention it, which was like Niski was helping build the Book of Lore as part of the coding guild before he was even like an employee of Magic Machine, and like TV also at the same time was like helping with the Book of Lore, like before he built the Forgotten Market. And that was there's just there's so many like people even in the cult that I would still want to hire if we get the chance to, but Niski in particular has just been around since like really the very beginning in terms of like making the Book of Lore be what it is. And then Jitsi reached out. Gosh, I don't know when it was that you reached out to me, but it was like very early where you DM'd me and you're like, look, this is me here. I'm doxing and I want to work for you. And I don't know when that's going to work out. I don't know what we're going to do, but like, I really love what you guys are doing. And I like want to be a part of it. And like, it was a long time before we actually circled back to be like, can you come work with us? Like it was probably 6 months or more. Do you remember the time there?
Really early. Yeah, it was super early. And like, again, it was just like no pressure because I was directing esports programs, right? Like arguably my other dream job. But, I just saw whatever you all were doing and I don't know, man. I just like couldn't get away from it. I'm like, this has to be it for me. Like, despite the fact that I'm literally directing kids how to be good in video games. It doesn't get much better than that, right? And so let you all know, like, whenever you're ready to go, like, I'm here. Like, I get the mission. I get it. Like, you've created, again, I think it was in the back of my head, it's the community that was being created without me even being a part of the team yet was just so special. I still believe that. I say it all the time. I think dynamic of community and how people treat each other online is basically everything. And it was just the best I'd seen. So yeah, I was happy to put in my resume and just let you all know whenever you're all ready, I'm here. And then, a year later, you all called up and I said, all right, let's make it happen, Captain. So
it was a close call too. You were about to take another job, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. It was really close. I thought actually that they told you that I was going to maybe take it and that would like preemptively had the call, but it was just by the odds, like randomly that it was just both lined up at that time, I guess.
Or it was just a killer negotiation tactic, and it forced me to send an offer and lock up. You're like, listen, I got like 5 people coming after me. You want a piece of this? You better come.
Well, you know how competitive I am, so you never know.
Yeah.
And then he was not. And then, by the way, like, let's give another shout out to Jitsi, like #1 in Doogie Dash without using any boost for a minute.
Good
Like,
job. Good job.
that's when I think like everybody on the team. I remember me, Elf, and Dota were like in the exec chat. We're like, Jitsi's #1 in Doogie Dash. Like, I think that's when we really realized we're like, oh my god, Jitsi's better than everybody in video games.
I do like video games. Yeah, I don't really show much of like my past within gaming, but I only talk about it. But yeah, there's a lot of content out there. I just love to be good at things, I guess, and video games is one of them. So yep.
I'm
Jitsi
looking
is-
at my logs, and it was in August of 21 when I asked for your home address so I could send you a life-size cardboard cutout of your kobold.
I have it right behind me, actually. It sits there all the time. I love opening up Zoom calls if I put on my camera because it just sits there and people are always like jaw drop sometimes, right? Of like, yeah, that's my kobold. So yeah, I love that. I love it so much. You have no idea.
Jitsi, you're brilliant, man. It's funny that you take the persona of a kobold because I don't know. I don't know how well it fits. In some way it does, but in other ways you just like you're very intelligent about so many things when it comes to gaming, and you manage the community so well. You know, I was telling, we said at the top that Dota and I would have fallen apart without Bear, but I think the whole Discord would have fallen apart without you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
And the whole team. I think this is like, you know, I think that we talk about it like me, Alf, and Dota are complete opposites in a way, and we all have our own sort of specialized skill set that complement each other, and of course it also takes trust. But I think there's like a microcosm within the larger Magic Machine team where everybody just plays a part. You know, like there's no one that's like redundant. Everybody is really good at something, and that's what they do at the company. And obviously everybody wears multiple hats at a startup, so we're all chipping in all the time. And then, like, to take it down a layer deeper, the cult itself, the community, you know, I think is representative. Like Magic Machine as a company is a microcosm for the cult, and I think it's just like it's this like through line of sort of beliefs and like a belief system that like. I just think that's what makes this whole thing special. Is like we're all here because there's like you know, we're all different, but like there's this like centralized like belief in what we're building and sort of what the technology is capable of, and we're just doing, you know, this is just one flavor of Web3 and blockchain. But I think that's why we over-index. That's why every time I get on a call with another project or a VC or whoever who's in Web3, I would say, no joke, like 75% of the time, someone on the other end of the call has a wizard. And like I think we really speak to builders and creators, and I think that's kind of why we're at where we're at.
We've done a good amount of like reflecting and looking back. Maybe we could start transitioning to talk a little about, you know, like where we are and where we're going.
Hold on, before we do, I just want to shout out 2 more members of our team. On the art team, Molly and Frog. Man, I mean, just real quick, like Molly did concepts for every single wizard in the collection, a 2D concept upon which we built our 3D models. And then Frog, I mean, how much has he been blowing you guys' mind recently? But
he's so good.
Yeah, just helping put together the Toon Shader on the website. Just all kinds of 3D help. Frog has just been amazing. He came right out of school, and he's just years ahead, I think, of his peers. So big shout out to those 2, and then of course Waz, who is just, you know, how do you describe Waz except for pure magic?
Legend.
Pure magic.
Voice reveal, Waz, get on stage.
Yeah,
Voice
come
reveal.
on, Waz. Voice
Come on,
reveal.
Waz.
Come on,
Stop.
Waz.
Just come on, stop it,
Yeah,
Waz.
I
Get
love
up here.
Waz. Like, there's like me and Waz have been DMing and talking prior to us joining, and like man, like you have friends in life and you have people you just like understand. And I feel like Waz and I for a long time always just like clicked, and it grew into what we are now. But I mean, I don't think I'd be where I'm at if Waz wasn't a part of the cult as well. Like he amplifies me at times in ways I don't even know, and he continues to do it selflessly. So I love Waz.
Yeah, me too. He makes me laugh out loud every single week, and I talked about this. We went to his wedding a few weeks ago, and he's not only hilarious, but also just such a great person, and made like me and my family feel so welcome and like instantly part of their friend group. And so, yeah, was just like, I was looking over my notes and like really, really early on talking about this guy, Magus Wazir, that was making these hilarious memes, and so glad to have you as part of the team.
So that was just sort of a recap of the past, and let's just talk a bit about the future. Dota, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, absolutely. Wait, did we talk about Nalgene?
Can we talk about Nalgene?
How the hell did we forget about Nalgene?
Jesus.
Young Nal.
Now we're really going to play our boy.
Yeah. I'm looking at him right now. He's all fuzzy and cute.
Forget. Yeah.
Can I give
like the glue?
Yeah, he is the glue. Let me just give a little anecdote about our boy Nalgene. I've known Nalgene since he was 11 years old, and flexing the first time I ever met him, he was flexing his Minecraft builds to me, and he was the nicest kid, and he ended up moving out to LA. And the deeper context is like his aunt is one of our best friends. Like she I got married at her house. And she's amazing too. We'll have her on the show at some point. But like I've known Nalgene since he was pre-pubescent, which he still may be, I think. But I've known him, and he came out to LA, and he was like slinging real estate, and he's so smart, and there's a lot of parallels actually between like my life and his life, and just experiences, ups and downs. And I always knew I'm like, I gotta get Nalgene in here. And finally, I think it was like right around when we got the Bear Cave, we brought him in, and I know personally, I spend every day with this guy. I spend more time with him than I do with my own family. And I love him. Like he's like the eldest son, brother, whatever you want to call it. I love him. Nalgene, thank you for everything you do. You really sort of help everything move forward.
Yeah,
agree.
He's the most bussinest member of the Magic Machine team.
Man, yeah, he's bussin'. He's bussin'.
Okay, Dota, future.
Yeah, so let's talk about the future. I mean, I think that there's really like 4 highlights, right? There's a million different things that we're working on, but let me talk a little bit about just sort of let me hit the high points, which would be.
Wait, I thought we were rugging the project. No.
Oh, did we forget to mention this was not only the 100th Wizard Wednesday, but the last Wizard Wednesday? We're shutting it down to Discord after this. Yeah. It's like Seinfeld. We're ending on a high note.
No, it's not a rug. Continue, Dota.
Okay. Really, like, I think that the goal for this project is to be a place for collaborative world building, both creatively and economically, right? Like the point of this project, right? The problem that we're solving here is this idea that creative people like come together and they like contribute to worlds that they really have no stake in, right? You can't freely contribute to Lord of the Rings or to Harry Potter or to Star Wars. Like no matter how much you're a fan or no matter how much you love it, all of the value of your creation accrues to the top, which is someone else. And so the idea with Forgotten Runes, right, is that we're going to be able to create a world that has the critical mass of the magic system and the geography and the items and the lore and the characters, such that like you can come in and you can create in this world, but at the same time you're able to benefit from it like monetarily because of like the IP that you create. Look, I understand the reality, which is like in these past 2 years there hasn't been a lot of money flowing to creators for this like this aspect of like bootstrapping a world, but I think that that's really the goal of like what we're getting at. We've got the IP rights in place such that that is possible. We've got kind of like the mechanics, and we're building sort of the tooling to make that happen, right? And so I think that that's one of the main ideas that we're looking for, is that this isn't just a CC0 project where you create just only art for art's sake, but also there's like some sort of financial underpinning to that. And of course, there are challenges with regards to sort of like regulation, securities laws, like legal documents, all of these things, just practical considerations. And we're working through them. And I think a lot of artists don't even really realize that this is an option, that you can kind of like come together as like a collaborative team and create a world together, and then you own that world all together. And so some of the ways that that plays out specifically is like we're going to ship the media expressions. As I look forward, we've got 10 comic books in progress, and we've got Titan Publishing, who's going to be distributing them globally. We've got like Riley, who's our like comic book artist, and Joe, who's the writing the stories. Right, these are like top shelf, high quality like comic books that we're going to get out globally, and those include the stories that are pulled from the Book of Lore. Similarly, we have, the Runeverse game, which is, of course, like well underway. Right, there's 40 people working on it, and while we've only had a few demos so far, we're going to release like some public builds of the game by the end of the year. And so, I know that everybody here has sort of been waiting for that. Right, everyone wants to see like what are the mechanics, what are the benefits for wizards, what are the benefits for warriors, and we'll get to all of those things like in due time. But really, like when I look forward, we're going to ship a huge MMO that'll have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of monthly active users. I think that like the people who are here sort of believe that that will happen, and there's maybe some skepticism in the wider market as to like whether or not someone can make like a full game that is fun, that is like detailed as detailed as any other MMO, but then is also based on crypto. Right, we don't have a lot of kind of like parallels of people that have shipped for real, and that's still hanging out there, and we are going to ship that. We've got a huge team of talented people coding every day. And so while maybe it's not working at sort of like the Web3 pace, so to speak, of where you launch something every 2 weeks, the game is going to be a significant game in the ecosystem. And then the third thing is the television show, right? We're still completely in progress to like make this show happen for real. This one is a little bit weirder to talk about because a lot of sort of the like, let's say deals or potential deals that happen, we really can't talk about them publicly, and it's a shame. We in a couple of years we'll have this episode where we'll sort of like write the book. We'll open Bear Snake's Rolodex, and we'll talk about the like pitfalls, the dead ends, and the open doors. I mean, I think one thing that I can share is just there's so many cases like Bear Snake is such a professional in being able to open these doors and being able to make connections in ways that you would never ever expect. And it's I can't put specifics behind it because of just the fact that a lot of these deals are all in progress. But I suppose what I would just say is that like the show hasn't died at all. We're still talking to people. We're still talking to both like financiers, producers, negotiations. I don't know if Bear, if you want to hop in and talk about some of these, you're welcome to. But the higher point is that this getting this show made is still completely like on the table and in progress. So this comic book, the show, the game, all of these things integrate the Book of Lore. And all of these things are just ways to make the world of Forgotten Runes a household name, such that like when an individual comes in and like creates within this world, there's already a built-in audience.
Yeah,
So,
I won't give any details, and what I will say is I've spent a lot of time selling shows in this town of Los Angeles, and I would say most of the IP has been bought up. It's been made again. In some cases, it's been made again after that. And so Hollywood is searching for the next sort of generation of IP. And so what I can say is most shows they're either like words on a piece of paper or a script, and someone goes in like pitches this idea, right? And most of the time when it sells, it's because they trust the person. It's like someone like Derek, right? They've already had success, and they can be trusted to make another one. I'd say the difference with us, and this is just, it's such a powerful thing to come in and talk about the community that we have today, the amount of like the comic book, the the video game. We are walking in with I wish there was a better, less sort of dangerous metaphor, but we're walking in with a loaded gun, maybe a loaded water pistol. And yeah, I just couldn't feel more excited, and I think there's a reason why we chose the style of show. There's a reason why we went with animation, not live action, and it all sort of plays into the market of where content is today. And this idea of being anime adjacent, even, it's like one of the fastest growing categories in content. And what's beautiful and what matches like the Web3 decentralization nature of the project is that like anime crosses borders, right? There's this idea of like, okay, it's known that if you make a comedy in the U.S., it has very little value outside of the continental United States or Alaska, just the U.S., right? Because culture of comedy is subjective and it's different per territory. But when you talk about fantasy, when you talk about wizards and warriors and beasts, and these massive like fantasy worlds, that crosses borders and it crosses languages. And so when someone looks at what we're doing, they understand the potential of sort of the globalness of it. But yeah, I've been a part of a lot of things. I sold a lot of things, and I feel more bullish on this than anything I've ever walked in with.
Yeah. So so these big media expressions are things we're working on going into the future. They're all still in progress. I think we don't get up here every week and just say like, yeah, we're still working on the show, but like I think that's one of the biggest things that we can possibly do, and we are still continuing to get a lot of very good signal. And this is just like the pace that it takes to do what we're trying to do. So another thing that we're working on is entering the third dimension, right? 3D. 3D is going to be huge for us. We've been working on this for probably over a year now. We did the collection once and hated it and then did it again. It's looking incredible. We're very, very close to launching it insofar as I think that we're maybe, I don't want to give a date, but I think that we're somewhere within a month or two of being able to actually ship to everyone. And really, like, there's a couple of things that are important with 3D. 3D is important because it allows people to create, right? There's all sorts of motion capture that's coming on, like Wonder Dynamics, like you see what we share with the dancing videos. The 3D allows you to create cinematically, like we're seeing Oz do in Unreal Engine. And 3D allows you to you can pose things in 3D and then like feed it through Stable Diffusion to be able to do AI generated art. And then 3D also allows you to walk around in 3D metas. So we are talking to all of the biggest and best and every meta in between about having Forgotten Runes appear. And so, there's some alpha there that we can't quite share yet, but we have the highest quality models in the NFT industry, and we certainly have the most diverse set of models, especially when you consider kind of like all of the different heads, right? There's only over 150 different heads. There's no other NFT project that has modeled 150 different heads like this. And so, in the same way that when we look at the 100th Wizard Wednesday, like Where's Waldo image, you can see the individual characters' personas that are instantly recognizable, right? It's not just the same character with a different costume. It will be the exact same way within these metaverses, that you'll actually find that Forgotten Runes avatars will be some of the most desirable because they're some of the most unique. And so, yeah, we'll be doubling down on 3D. We want to be able to use 3D more. We're not just a pixel project, and we'll be using 3D more as we move forward. And I don't know if you want to talk more about 3D Elf, or I'll move on to lore building tools.
I just want to say that 3D just opens the door to an exponential vector for us. I think the metaverse strategy, if you're an NFT project and you don't have a metaverse strategy, then I don't know what you're doing. The metaverse is not just a VR app created by Mark Zuckerberg. It's actually a much bigger vision. It's still being built, and it's a real thing. And so Forgotten Order is definitely going to have a huge presence in the metaverse.
I think there's an artistic angle to it also. Like some people vibe with Pixel and some people don't, and I think it could be an entry point where, we're already sort of seeing people sort of collecting characters because they're excited about the 3D model. So, people who are more interested in 3D, it allows us to sort of open to a wider net, I think.
Totally agree. And then I think that, so there's two other parts that I want to talk about. So one would be around like lore building tools and lore monetization tools, right? So for lore building tools, really one of the things that we want to do is provide larger narratives from Magic Machine to be able to provide these kind of like central stories to hang your hats on, right? I think that's something that we've spent a lot of time establishing, kind of like, where is the Runeverse and what are the sort of things that you can expect, right? We have, this mix of like magic and quantum physics, and we've established the different sorts of like characters and, let's say, races of like the creatures that are there, and the flora and the fauna. We've started to build out some of this baseline. But one of the things that we want to do more is like establish ways to develop like central narratives, like larger narratives where we can follow a character for a longer period of time. And so you'll be seeing us do more of that. But then I also want to build tools such that it's easier for the cult to do that. I want to provide more details around the maps. So you've seen me tweet out some of the tools that we're like have in the laboratory to be able to build out a map to whatever resolution you need to, and whether that's for storytelling, for cartography, for building your own little RPG. We want to be able to have like to know where the locations are in the universe, right? Like how far is the Shroom Shack like from the Kobold Corner, right? So we want to be able to know like different landmarks and paths and secrets within the world, and have tools where it's not just like the book of lore, which is around your individual wizard, but maybe there's a sort of like book of maps or similar analogous tool where the cult can come together and contribute on the locations of the universe. And then I think another part is we want to be able to have a deeper understanding of the characters, right? When you tell a narrative story in the book of lore, that's telling a type of story, but how are there ways that we can make things easier, from like D&D character sheets to sort of personality tests to being able to really dig into like, who is your wizard? And those things are, knowing who your wizard is, knowing the narratives and knowing the locations within the universe, then lets us feed that into tools like the LLM, which gives us a sort of like AI assistance in developing the stories. Now, I think we've all sort of seen how AI can get kind of tired and how it, if you just let it write stories altogether. But I think that there are ways to leverage AI to just help you, to be almost like your writer's room and like advisor, right? To help you not have to stare at a blank page and to have tools that help you create these stories. So, okay, so we can create those stories with all these tools as like an art project, and that's interesting in its own right. But I think also part of the project is around commercialization. And we'll be sharing more on this. We've talked some around the IP rights. We've talked a lot about our project, which we were, codenaming Binary Star, which is this idea of like code being a star within its, almost like a movie star, and this idea that it's like a platform to be able to kind of license the IP of your character. We'll have more to talk about with this. We are even trying to go a little bit more direct and try to build some tools that let you as a IP creative, as an IP creator, and also as artists who want to use your stories to be able to monetize those in ways that like we help market and sell. What I'm getting at is like, you can imagine a scenario where like Wise Sam creates this idea of the Shroom Shack, and maybe Tanya creates some artwork about the Shroom Shack, and then we have a product where it kind of like merges those things together, and there's basically sort of like royalties that go back to the like IP creators and IP owners. And so one of the things that's important here to mention is that like we're trying to work around this idea of like staying completely within like US securities laws. These are mostly IP things that I'm talking about, which is a lot like traditional IP licensing, where if you create the character Buzz Lightyear and then you license that for a piece of merchandise, you're licensing that as sort of the owner. And so one of the things that you'll see us focusing on really is just like right in the book of lore, like the people who create things will be the people who are able to like monetize best in the near future, given sort of like the US regulatory landscape. And so we're building tools to encourage that. We want, when we look at sort of the highest grossing franchises of all time, what you see there is that it's merchandise. Now, whether that's digital or physical, I think that will change because of the year that we're in. But we will be building tools to help, like, really, ideally what I would love is that you could create content for Forgotten Runes as like a full-time creator, and then you're able to monetize those things because people know the stories, people know the characters, and then people want the things that you create, right? You can create art that you like, and then people want to buy it. That's really the dream. So these would be the things that I see moving forward. Bear and Elf, I'm sure you guys have your own.
You covered it all, man.
All right, very good.
Let me just also, I just want to mention, it looks like Maddow shared a little GIF of the game in the Secret Tower, and it looks amazing. So you guys should go check that out.
Yeah. Always fun stuff being shared in the Secret Tower during Wizard Wednesday. But yeah, the game is looking great. Yeah, I don't have much more to add. I mean, I could probably speak for 20 minutes on any one of those individual things, but we'll do that another time. But I am very excited about the future for all the things we're building. We just can't build fast enough. So stick with us for the next 100. Hold on, I've got one request.
While you're pulling that up, just as a reminder, if you are just joining us, hop in the Discord, the Wizard Wednesday episode 100 forum chat. Drop in your address if you want to get the airdrop of a new Athenium item, which will go out on Thursday or Friday. You can, of course, follow the link in the announcements to mint the commemorative 100 weeks of world building Where's Waldo inspired Forgotten Runes image. So yeah, those are two separate NFTs that are available to you. One is a claim on Manifold. The other will be airdropped to your wallet if you fill out the Dino form in the Discord.
Happies, hello. Happies with the old man Mario PFP.
Yep.
Damn, I love when people I don't recognize come up on Wizard Wednesday.
Remember that how we used to have Wizard Wednesday in the Discord, and then we had that week where like we turned it public, and then these like British, like the British kids like Eminem and like Rose or something, that they thought that they were like asking us how to do spells, like what spells we should use to curse their friends.
Dude, those first Wizard Wednesdays in the Discord were nuts. Because we had so many more randos come up. Some people like didn't know that we were an NFT project, and they legit thought we were like a magical cult of wizards.
Like a Wiccan.
Like how to do spells and shit. I got harassed for weeks after by those two kids who wanted me to give them a wizard NFT. In the DMs. Who knows where they're at to this day, but yeah, those were fun.
Hope they're doing okay.
I hope they haven't cast any terrible spells and summoned horrible demons. So okay, yeah, man, we are like 30 minutes over, but I knew this Wizard Wednesday would be a long one. I want to go over the 21st week of the Cult Chronicle by Tanya Del Rio. Some really great pieces made this week. The first two pieces are just sort of commemorative of the 100th episode of Wizard Wednesday. This first one is by Delta Mouse. Just, I think when we all saw this, our hearts just gushed with love. It's us three sort of dancing in this like medieval street. You know the one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I'll share it up top.
Perfect, great. And then just this morning, Markifine, is so good.
So good.
Just made this amazing illustration of us broadcasting Wizard Wednesday in the Runeverse from the Quantum Downs in a cave. And the fun thing about it is just like all the little details. What's amazing is like there's a kobold doll that was just sort of a bit of quantum synchronicity.
Yeah, he didn't even know.
Yeah, for the kobold doll that we're dropping as a free airdrop, which some of you may be lucky enough to get. So shout out to Markifine. We've got a few memes. Castamere, one of the meme masters. A King of the Hill inspired graphic. It's basically a Forgotten Runes is mixed with King of the Hill. Cheddar Bob is doing a vector version of the Secret Tower. Archer Anim, which is the collective by Oz and Ian. They've just been doing some really fun experiments with the wizard rig and putting them in different environments. Speaking of which, they made a really cool 3D version of the Book of Lore. That's just a beautiful Book of Lore.
It's so good. It's so good. I want that in my house.
Yeah, exactly. And then Nard got a commission by Glitchist. Just a really beautiful Dream Master with everyone's favorite fluffy white dog Soda. Another big highlight was this amazing 2.5D piece by DeCircus.
I don't even know who DeCircus is, and they just come out with this 3D video, and it's got the music, and it's so good. I wanted to play this as a game.
It's stunning. I think they made it in a game engine like Unity or Unreal. It's just so nicely done. It's just beautiful. And DeCircus, I didn't recognize them until I saw this piece, but I guess they're a new cult member. Just
love it.
Really amazing contribution from a new cult member. And then Merlin, the infamous Merlin, has got a real big lore initiative going on. He's got this sort of layout of this big story. It looks like Merlin's planning. And it looks like if you want to join this lore effort, just DM Merlin to get your character added. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Merlin has been making amazing things for years. Forgotten Runes, the NFT worlds in Minecraft is just one of them. Markifine hit us with another amazing illustration this week of Magus Ixar of the Hills. Just a beautiful illustration by Markifine. I think my favorite part in it is the cat with the pipe in their mouth. Cosmic Birds, with I think in collaboration with Cheddar Bob, did a Lego version of their pet hyena Veggie. Perfect name for a hyena. And then Bitvargan, a cult favorite, did let's see, what is it actually? I'm trying to see. Finally entered a piece of lore in the Book of Lore for Necromancer Billy in the Shadows. Hinting at a much larger project. I won't say what it is, but if you want to check it out, go check out the Book of Lore entry.
Let's just say it's the first piece in a larger puzzle.
I think so, yep. Speaking of lore, the Twitter account Suggested Lore continues to provide some really great content. This time for a warrior, a kobold warrior named, listen to this name, Bushi, Assailant of the Road. That's a good name, Bushi. Another, I think I'm going to say a new cult member, or at least a new artist, Pez Banana NFT, with a commission for Crucifor of their warrior. This is a new style that I have not seen in the cult, but damn, it looks good.
Yeah, those are some nipples.
Yeah, exactly. And then Tanya with her own project, the Canis Coven, just an adorable character illustration of Augur Maya of the River. Damn it, I love Tanya's style. It's just so great.
Agree.
Another cult favorite, Dania Illustra, with a little sketch, just a little sketch of a wizard. And then Small Protect continues to generate some really great pieces of their wizard, Cosmic Mage Bathsheba. Zayla Soul looks like Zay. You made some stickers. It looks like of your warrior, Zay with his honorary warrior no less, and his wizard. Yeah, these stickers look great. And then Jonas Tupel with let's see. I'm trying to read what this is.
It's a basics of geology. He basically did a thread where he's like, I'm going to explain the basics of geology. And I'm thinking like, oh, okay, like Runiverse geology. No, it's just like, here's how diamonds are made. Told by a wizard. It's amazing.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's great. There is science in the Runiverse. It's not just magic. In fact, these two forces are often in contradiction with one another. So Tupus with the diamondology. And then Delta Mouse, one of our greatest lore masters, just made this really nice video. I think this is also hinting at an upcoming project called the Pariahs. We don't know too much about it yet, but stay tuned for that. Magus Wazir, Waz has been training a really advanced model on Stable Diffusion, and this latest piece is. I'm going to say it's like mixing if Magus Wazir was a robot.
Waz is so good at Stable Diffusion. I suck at it. I tried to train a Dota model this week and it came out terrible. So I need to have him help me.
Yeah, I mean, there is an art to it.
Yeah.
Okay, another fun thing. This looks like a new thing. Magic Monday News? Is that new, or have I just missed it?
We've talked about it. It's been Henboyd, and a couple others have been doing it for I think the past 4 weeks at least. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yep. Now I get it. I think just this image is new. Yeah, they got a new logo, I think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a new logo for Magic Monday News. Who else is involved with that?
Well, and Lorepunk and a few others do one, I think on Monday, but it's like European time. It's like 7 a.m. LA. So I never get to join it, but they're grinding.
Awesome. Small Protect, just a hilarious music video with wizard heads. I think my favorite scene in this video was the part where there's a kobold on their knees and us three. It looks like we're getting ready to like behead him or something.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Speaking of kobolds, Jitsi, a lot of new memes you posted this week. Man, speaking of memes, there were a lot of good memes in the Secret Tower today.
Wait, let me correct. Can I correct myself? It's not Lorepunk. It's Sharon and O doing a rune lore roundtable every Monday 7 a.m. PST. Just wanted to correct myself.
Yep, you're right, and I do know what that is, and I agree with you, Bear. That is so early in the morning, and that's why I always miss it. And then finally, Dr. Pop Solo Space ID just released a really fun video, sort of recapping all the creativity and fun from the cult. And I think that is it for the Cult Chronicle.
Thank you, Tanya, for putting that together.
Yep.
It's amazing. Oh, and the other thing, I know it's not cult content per se, but I know it seems like people have been really enjoying these threads that we're dropping every Monday, and that's certainly ramping towards something, and more will be revealed soon. But great job on that art, Alpha. It looks great.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. That thread is certainly building up to something. If you can't guess what it is by now, just DM Bear Snake and ask him.
No.
Happies. One more time. Can you speak? Happies, you're on mute. If anyone else has any other questions as well, please come up. I think we're about to wrap the show, but we'll stay on for a few more minutes. Happies, are you able to talk? I guess not. Okay,
Yeah,
Dota.
Why don't we vamp for like 60 seconds? If anyone wants to come up. If not, then yeah, I guess we'll wrap.
Sure. And Dota, just one more time, how do people claim the free Athenaeum airdrop?
Go to Discord, join the Wizard Wednesday channel, Wizard Wednesday episode 100. You got to be a holder.
Yep, that is the chance to get one of 5 new Athenaeum items, and then there is also a free mint on Manifold.
It closes in 14 minutes, and there's only 450 minted. I love that. That feels like the right amount because you don't want there to be like 15,000 minted. You want it to be a little exclusive.
Agreed.
You heard it here. Don't mint. Dota said don't mint. This is the perfect number.
Yeah.
No. You have 15 minutes left.
15 minutes left.
Yeah. So if you want one of those, go mint it, and then it'll be closed forever. Man, guys, it's been real. I love Wizard Wednesday. I can't believe this is 100. We've reached the triple digits. We have a request. Let's see, Rune King. Hello, Rune King. Rune King, come on.
There we go. It says he's connecting. Muted. Wow.
These are just all my alts. I'm just messing with you.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Do you remember? Oh, wait, here's Tad. We know Tad.
Tad.
Tad's connecting. Do you remember when we had Vladimir Putin up here and he literally told us to fuck off?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do, yes. Where's he? Let's have him back.
Yeah.
Miss him.
Oh, Tad. Oh, there's Tad. Hey, Tad.
Hey, did I finally connect?
You're connected.
Hey,
What up, buddy?
I just didn't want this to close down on such a sad note of everyone trying to get up here and say something and not saying anything after all. So just a big heartfelt thank you to the builders, the community, everybody that's doing everything to kind of make this project awesome. 100 Wizard Wednesdays in. Here's to 100,000 more.
Damn right.
Love
Tad,
you.
You were posting all your animations in the Secret Tower this morning, and I was blown away by how much you've done, and I just like all of your animations are so much fun. I just love that you make those.
Oh, thank you so much. I was surprised how long I've been doing them. Kobe System shared a tweet from him sharing the first one I made for him. It was in August of almost 2 years ago. So yeah, it's pretty amazing to consider everything everyone's made over the last 2 years. Nice to have a book of lore to keep it in.
Agree. Okay, here, Mr. Chimp.eth. Hello.
Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for such a quick, bring me up so quickly, and thank you for acknowledging me. And I was just randomly going through different spaces to see who's talking about what projects are there. And I'm like, oh, I love pixel art, and I love wizards. And I'm like, I wanted to come up to learn more about what you guys do.
Well,
let's run it back. Run it back. Start from the beginning.
Yeah, Mr. Chimp, let me give you the 2-second pitch. We are a decentralized world building project where if you own one of our characters, wizards, warriors, or souls, that gives you access to build this world with us. You can think of it like an open source Middle Earth. And it's a little more complex than that, but I would say go to our Discord. Our community is super friendly, and they can answer any questions you may have.
Awesome. And what blockchain?
Ethereum.
Interesting. An interesting project being built on Ethereum. Very cool. And I'm not being facetious.
Yeah.
Like usually when you hear about an interesting project, and I've been an Ethereum maxi, I tend to realize that it's more on Solana because of less gas fees, more building, more experimental, and it felt like for a while Ethereum was just PFPs, and I got a ton of PFPs, but this is super interesting. I don't think I'm part of any project that's gamified Ethereum. Like most of them are just static PFPs.
Well, I'm glad you found us. Stick around. We've been here for 100 weeks, or more than 100 weeks, actually. But
awesome. I'll
but
start with
yeah,
Discord.
check out our
Definitely
Discord.
Gonna check it out tomorrow. But yeah, that's awesome.
All right, thanks for coming up.
We got another one.
Oh, here comes. We got one more. Sean Brody. Hello. Sean, you're on mute.
No, I am not. Hi, everybody.
There you go. Hello.
Hi. I thought I might offer to read some lore to close this out.
All right. Yay! We haven't had lore read in a while.
So
yes.
So this is going to go back a little bit. This is back when I first joined the cult, and the lore is for my first warrior, Lucy Lasher of the Wild, token 907.
All right, go for it.
Wrong barbecue, Lucy panted as she uncoiled her whip from an overhanging branch after swinging across the canal. She hit the ground running, coiling her whip in her hands as she ran. Those wizards have been hitting the potion bottles too hard, Morty, she panted as the Onyx Panther fleeing for its life behind her. Some golden skeletal wizard and his pals had crashed the barbecue, which was fine. Who doesn't love a few magic tricks at a nice barbecue? But then one of his buddies whispers something into his ear, and he just starts screaming about floors. Next thing you know, this madman summons the sacred flame. If that's not crazy enough, he summoned it on top of some poor warrior. That poor guy will never dispatch a dock again. Lucy couldn't believe her eyes. No warrior had ever been consumed by the flame before. She took a step back and eyed the cockatrice she had brought, thinking maybe some well-lashed meat might calm this wizard down. They were known to be cranky when they were hungry, after all. That's when two other warriors suddenly went up in flame and Lucy bolted. She couldn't hear the screams of her fellow warriors as flesh and armor melted away. She didn't look back. Lucy made the gates to the citadel and kept running until she reached the outskirts of the wild. Finally slowing and feeling safe in more familiar territory, she settled on two things. First, she was really hungry and super pissed that Crazy Wizard had forced her to abandon that cockatrice meat. Second, the Runiverse needed to change. Wizards could no longer be left unchecked. She was going to rebel.
You know what I love? I love hearing stories of wizards and warriors colliding. Do you remember when we first sort of introduced the Warriors collection and we were talking about like how it's going to change the cult and how there's going to be potentially conflict or collaboration between the wizards and the warriors?
Yeah. That didn't really happen in terms of like conflict. Like we were like, oh, this is going to change the cult. We're going to have like the wizard holders and the warrior holders, and like it didn't really change.
The only thing it really did was lead to really awesome lore, like Sean just read us.
Yeah, that's the first part of my lore. It was based off of an incident probably a little over a year ago now, where a retired yield farmer actually burned a bunch of wizards in Discord.
Oh yeah, we need more wizard burning.
Or he was burning warriors actually.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. I misspoke. We need more warrior burnings. Yes.
Set it up, man. Yeah. So I'm actually working on building out this story further, and that was just my first chapter of this.
Love it. Fantastic. The opening was fun. She's swinging around on the whip like Indiana Jones. I love it.
Oh, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Mr. Chimp, did you have another question?
No, I didn't scroll far enough, but I just DM'd you. First I couldn't find it, then I'm like, oh wait, let me just scroll it again. And I found it, and now I'm just joining the Discord at the moment.
All right, have fun.
Appreciate it.
Okay. I think that's it for the 100. We almost went 2 hours.
I like the 2-hour sessions. We should do this more often.
We should. Jitsi, you got, or Jitsi, Bear, Dota, anything else?
I'm good.
Nothing, man. Love y'all. It's a blast.
Love.
All right.
Great song.
That was the 100th episode of Wizard Wednesday. Channeling out from the Quantum Downs, this has been Elf, Dota, Bear, Jitsi, Sean, Mr. Chimp, Loch Ness, Tad Major, and all of the wizards and warriors of the Forgotten Runes Wizards Cult. GN, everybody.
Here's to 100 more.